Let's take a look at how to save that stream of data that we had in a memory stream into isolated storage so that we can play it back later. We haven't added any new additional images or user experience with this, just some underlying code. So now we've added a using for system.io.isolated storage, and we've added a variable here to keep track of the last recorded file name. And the reason for that is we're also changed the playback to play back from the file, rather than playing back from the memory stream. So everything else we've done so far all looks exactly the same. We haven't changed anything for the recording or the basic playback, except that in recording we now make a call to this save recording method where we have the logic that actually writes to isolated storage. Our play logic is still the same until we get to the place where we're actually going to play it, and we'll come back to here in just a second. Let's look at the method where we actually save the recording. So just like we did before, we used getUserStore for application to get access to the isolated storage manager. Now here we have to decide what we're going to call our file. So we do this based on the time and date in the phone. And then we just convert that time into ticks and use that long number that we get from that with the extension DAT on the end of it to create the file name. And then we go and create the file, get the buffer from the stream, and write it out to the isolated storage file, flush it and close it and set the stream to null. And then we also write a info file using the same name but a different extension, in this case .info. The reason we do this is it's not possible with the isolated storage manager to find out the date and time of a file that's stored in isolated storage. That particular functionality is just not there. So in order to be able to keep track of multiple files and have the ability, for example, to sort them by date, we actually have to have a separate file that has the metadata in there. In our case, the name of the DAT file and the time. And in the next movie, we'll actually see how we use this data to create a view model full of data to be able to populate a list box. And last but not least, let's look at our updated play logic. Because the updated play logic no longer just plays from the in-memory stream, we actually go and load the data from the isolated storage. Once again, we get the isolated storage manager, go and open up the stream containing our data, read it into a new memory stream because we need to have that in order to be able to create a sound effect instance because we need to use stream to array here. So we load the entire sound into memory, create a sound, and play it just as we did before. And that's it for persisting the recording as an individual file in isolated storage, which once again is great if you only have one file, but the app becomes a great deal more useful if we can record multiple files and choose which one we want to play back. So let's do that.